Okay, so I think it's already recording, no? Let's start. For the recording, I'll be linking this to the syllabus. Let me know, guys, if hindi ko siya na-link ha, para, kasi it takes time to generate a long video and then masisend sa akin sa email. But if hindi siya agad masend sa inyo, hopefully, ma-send ko siya 'no, within this week. But let me know ha, kasi nga yun nga may quiz tayo next week, about alcohol ethers and thiols, okay? Um, as an overview guys 'no, let's have an overview kasi I think baka hindi niyo na matandaan 'no, yung mga nakaraan since it's on prelim pa. And we have ilan, 11, 10, 11, 12, 13 na mga topics 'no. We're discussing hydrocarbons 'no or, organic chemistry. Kung matatandaan ninyo at nag-quiz pa tayo regarding on this one 'no, yung ating hydrocarbons na is or yung ating organic chemistries are the study of the compounds of carbon. So, organic compounds are made up of carbon, of course, ang backbone, and only a few other elements such as ano nga ulit? We have sulfur, phosphorus, and halogens. Yung pwede nating idagdag. So, kung matatandaan, hindi na to guys. Yung hydrocarbon na yan, nahahati yan sa tatlo. No? Tatlo muna, which are alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. Tama? Kapag sinabi nating alkanes, no, ano yung alkanes natin? Okay, ito yung ating summary of table sa ating hydrocarbon, which is part of our organic cheming. Ito kumbaga yung base natin. No, we have alkanes, which is single bonded carbon to carbon, such as ethane. We have alkenes like ethene or ethylene. No, ethylene is a common name, but we can use ethene, no, if possible. Oh, sorry. You also have your alkynes, which is triple bonds, or yung acetylene. Acetylene is common name niya. Now, this is ethyne on our ayupak meaning. We have arenes, no, which is yung benzene, o yung may circle with three double bonds. Okay? What else? So, gusto ko lang ipatanda sa inyo yung first thing, 10 alkanes na prefixes. Ano nga ulit yon? We have met, and prop, but, pent, hex, hep, oct, at saka non at dec. I hope natatandaan pa rin ito ngayon kasi it will come in handy pagdating natin sa mga susunod natin na i-discuss. Also, meron tayong tinatawag na isomerism. When we say isomerism, it's isomerism is a compound, no, that have the same molecular formula. Yun yung general term ng isomerism. When we say constitutional isomers, no, these are similar ang kanyang molecular formula, meaning same number ng carbon, so same number ng hydrogen, pero different ng structural formula or different na pagkakapwesto. Okay, that's constitutional isomer. We'll encounter different isomers as we go through these discussions. Okay? What else? Sa IUPAC naming, kung matatandaan ninyo, we have different ways, no? But for alkanes, we have adding of ANE, no, at the end of its name. Okay? So, let's move on to our um, main discussion. So, our main discussion, no, for today is alcohols, ethers, and Thiols, no? So ano itong mga itong tatlong ito. Bakit sila magkakasama? So alcohols, no, are compounds that containing an OH. Okay? They have an OH group, no? OH groups. Every time you see OH, no, it's a high chance na alcohol ang ating dinideal with, no? Um Ano naman ang ating thiols, no? When you say thiols, no, instead of OH, like ating alcohols, hold on. Okay. So when we say alcohol, sorry for that. When we say alcohol, ang ating functional group is OH or what we call hydroxyl group. Okay, we have hydroxyl group. This one is hydroxyl. Okay, when we say thiols, we have SH, no? Or yung sulfhydryl, nakadikit siya. Sulfhydryl group, no? Some says this one, ang common name is mercaptan, no? Containing sulfur. So we also have your ethers, which is meron siyang O sa gitna. So R, ang kanyang formula is ROR. Again, as a recap, no, what do we mean when we say R? R is a long chain carbon to carbon, carbon to carbon compound. So, pwedeng mahabang carbon na magkakadikit, pwedeng tatlo lang, pwedeng dalawa lang, no? Yun yung ibig sabihin ng R. Sometimes we use this generally to show a certain formula or a certain family or groups gaya nitong sa ethers, no? Gumamit tayo ng R instead of giving specific carbon numbers. Okay? Okay, so alcohol is a compound that contains OH. Dahil sinabi ko kanina, kanyang functional group is called hydroxyl group, no? This is bonded to a tetrahedral carbon. When all carbon in hydrocarbons are tetrahedral unless we have double or triple bond. So, ano ibig sabihin ng tetrahedral? Meaning, ang ating carbon can bond up to 4 bonding, no? Sa other compounds natin. So, we have methanols as an example. No? Methanol is CH3OH. This one is the simplest alcohol because it contains only one carbon compound. Okay? So say for example, methanol, if we're going to draw that, no? If we're going to draw that methanol, no, on its expanded notation, we have one carbon, then this is tetrahedral, right? So ibig sabihin, we have four bond on our carbon. On the other bond, we have oxygen, and then on oxygen, we have H. No? On the remaining carbon bond, no, na unbonded, we have three hydrogen group. So this one is a methanol or your CH3OH. So how about this, no? Ito ay ang ating, if you can remember, no, yung common rule natin, carbon can bond up to 4 bond, oxygen can bond up to 2 with 2 pair of electron, and yung ating hydrogen can bond up to one bond. So, we should input yung dalawang electron ni ating oxygen. Okay? So, kasi siya ay 2 bonds and 2 pair of electron. Okay? Tatandaan. So, our nomenclature, no, in our alcohol, no, we should select the longest carbon chain. Ganun din sa alkene-alkyne, we should select the longest carbon chain containing the OH. Okay? So, let's give an example later, no? And then as the parent alkane, and the number it from the end that gives the OH the lowest number. So number two, change the ending of the parent alkane from E to all. See, for example, from methane, which is CH3, okay, which is ang ating methane, if we're going to draw it, no, see, this one is methane. If you're going to remove the extra hydrogen and replace it with OH, the methane will be named as drop the E and then exchange with all. So it will be methanol. You understand? Okay, so change the ending of the parent alkane from E to all and use a number to show the location of your OH group. So for cyclic alcohol, the carbon bearing the OH group is the carbon 1. So name the number of substituent and list them in alphabetical order. So give some example. Number 1 is ethanol. Okay, number 1 is ethanol. Why ethanol? No, its common name is ethyl alcohol. No, sa common naming, YL ang dinadagdag plus alcohol. But in IUPAC naming, we use ethane, drop yung E kapag nagtanggal tayo ng oxygen, ay ng hydrogen sa ating tetrahedral carbon. Sorry. This one is an ethane, right? So guys, yung OH natin can bond here, can bond here, can bond here, 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 here. Kahit saan. Okay? Kahit saan siya pwedeng pumalit. Okay? But this time, I'll put on the end. So this one is your OH. Okay, so again, according to your IUPAC, your family name, no, or yung parent alkane mo will be your carbon to carbon chain na longest with its alcohol compound. So ito yun guys, itong kanyang parent chain. So we have two carbon compound, no, and an OH group, no. That will be ethane, drop letter E, that will be okay, ethanol. Okay? And its common name, no, kapag common name, drop natin yung ane, and then add natin yung il, this one, plus alcohol. That's your common naming. Though we usually, or we rarely, no, we rarely use that. We use, no, yung ating common naming, which is ethanol. Okay? We also have propanol. If you're going to notice here, no, on our ethanol, wala siyang number like this. 1 propanol, 2 propanol, 3 propanol, no? Why? Kasi if we input the hydroxide group here on this carbon, we'll start numbering on this carbon. So this will be 1 and then 2. Okay? So that will be 1, 1 ethanol. And no need to write 1 when writing with what, just 1, no? Halimbawa itong 1 propanol. No need to write that. Ma'am, and what if, bakit ma'am ganun? What if inagay namin dito sa carbon na to yung OH, halimbawa, ganito yung tsura niya. Ganito yung tsura niya, guys. Okay. At ito ko ilagay. E then, dito tayo magbibilang, magsimula. 1, then 2. That will still be 1 ethanol. You understand? Parehas pa rin. How about propanol? Dito tayo magkakaroon ng 1, 2, 3. So, let's expand itong line angle formula na ito. Propanol, that will be dito yung H. This one, will mag-start tayo to 1, 2, 3. Then this one is 1 propanol. You can just write propanol. It's fine. Okay? So, bakit may bilang na siya? Bakit pinapakita na yung bilang? Kasi guys, si hydroxyl group, pwede siyang mapunta dito sa pangalawa. No? Wala tayong problem kapag napunta siya sa number 3 kasi we'll just be starting numbering on number 3. That will be 1, 2, and 3. Intindihan? But if it starts on number 2, magkakaiba na yung pangalan natin, such as this one. Again, no matter, pwede dito sa taas, pwede dito sa baba, it's fine. Okay? Right. Ano mangyayari kapag ganito? Okay, this will be, saan kayo magsimula niya? It's fine kung dito ka magsisimula para sa mga nasa gitna yung carbon na ito. So, let's start here. 1, 2, 3. Okay lang kapag 1, 2, 3. Okay lang kasi parehas magiging 2 yung gitna. So, this one on this end, this will be your 2 propanol. Okay, on a line angle, ganito ang kanyang itsura. Okay, and then we have your 1 butanol. And so, for carbon, we have 2 butanol. No? Sa second carbon siya nakakabit. Dahil ganito siya, nasa second siya, and may ganyan siyang itsura. No? Ang common name niya is may sec. No? Kung matatandaan ninyo, I think I have discussed yung sec, iso, ano pa isa, tsaka yung tert. No? And sinabi ko sa inyo na nakaraan na kapag third, ISO, ganyan, you're just following yung kanilang, kasi wala siyang common explanation kung paano siya gawin, and it's common naming, so it doesn't make sense, no? Yung mga explanations for this one. Though meron talaga siya, may mga nababasa kong sometimes na explanation, but we usually do not, no, use this common naming kasi nga, yun, medyo, we also have Neo, which is, wala na yan kasi sobrang luma na yan. Kumbaga obsolete na yung use ng Neo, which is yung apat yung nakakabit. For sec, no, nasa second siya. So, usually yung functional group natin is nasa second. So, ganito yung shape niya. Kung tatandaan ninyo, pinatandaan ko sa inyo yung shapes. Okay? And we have your 2-methyl 1-propanol or isobutyl. And we have your third. Now, pag third, ang palatandaan ko sa inyo is may kamukhang letter T yung ating compound. Okay? And we have your cyclohexanol, which is yung ating cyclic compound. Okay? Okay. So, as an exercise, no, I'll give you until 8 o'clock to write the UPAC name. Ay, hindi. Let's do it together na lang. Kasi, um, I think may copy rin kayo nitong PowerPoint, but if you wanted to create your own, no, a UPAC name for each alcohol, pwede naman. Okay? So let's start on letter A. Again, choose muna, no? And let's have this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Para na susulatan ko. Okay, choose the longest carbon chain na magbibigay sa inyo kung nasaan ang OH group natin. So for this one, guys, we can choose, pwede natin gamitin to. Tingnan mo. 1, 2, 3. Pwede itong gawing parent alkane. And then this one is yung substituent. Tama? Pwede rin to. 1, 2. Pares lang. Okay? And then ito yung substituent. Tama? Tama, okay. So, puwede 'yan, puwedeng 'yan yung gawin ninyo, okay? But, for the demonstration, we'll just use this one. Parehas lang naman, wala namang pinagkaiba. So, bakit ko 'yan napili? Kasi meron siyang 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 carbon 'to, pero bakit ako nagsimula dito sa dulo? Again, according to the rule, piliin niyo yung magbibigay ng lowest number sa inyong substituent na functional group na OH. Kung magsisimula ako dito ng 1, magiging ano siya, 1, 2, 3, magiging 4 siya. So, I'll start 1 dito para hindi siya gano'ng kataas ang number na yield. Naintindihan? So, for this one, we'll have 2, no? Yun ba muna? Okay, let's start the substituent muna. Tama? We'll have this one, methyl. Saan nakakabit? 4, methyl. Okay? So, this will be 4, methyl, 2, ano, pentanol. Pentanol. Tama ba? For methyl, ililist down muna natin yung substituent. Kung may additional substituent pa aside from methyl, no, we alphabetize them. Okay? Okay, so for methyl, 2-pentanol. For methyl, 2-pentanol. Okay? Some way of writing is pentanol. Okay, pero we'll follow yung 2-pentanol na lang, guys. To avoid confusion. May mga bago kasi nilabas na mga way of naming. Okay, for letter B, that's a cyclic, no? So, the name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, no? That is 6. So, dahil cyclic siya, we'll use cyclohexanol. Okay, that's a cyclohexanol, but no, we'll start numbering dun sa OH. So that would be 1. Ma'am, paano naman yung ikot? Counterclockwise or clockwise? Kung saan yung magbibigay ng lowest number dun sa substituent mo na isa pa. So that will be itong methyl na to. Tama? Itong isang carbon. So that will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this will be, ano siya? Okay, 2-methyl. Your number 2 is 2-methyl, 1-cyclohexanol. Okay, the numbering should be added kasi nasa gitna siya ng text. Pero kapag nasa start, you may not write 1. Okay lang, okay? Next number, letter C. Okay, for this one, okay, dito tayo mag-start magbilang. 1, 2, bakit ulit? Kasi nandun yung magbibigay ng lowest number kay OH. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is heptanol. So this will be 2-heptanol. Next, no? This is a common name is tama kasi letter T siya. Okay, but we'll not follow common naming. Instead, let's count kung saan yung magbibigay ng longest chain natin. So this will be 1 kasi doon nakakabit yung ating oxygen. 1, 2, and 3. Ganun din kapag dito kayo pumunta or dito kayo sa baba pumunta. So this one is ano siya, propanol, no? According sa ating common naming, kina-count natin kasi doon lahat ng carbon. So, you'll count all the carbon here. Instead, sa ayupak naman natin is hindi kina-count yung carbon, no? As a family name. Ang family name natin is kung saan lang yung pinaka-mahaba. So, this one is, okay, dalawa ang kanyang methyl group and nasa carbon 2 siya, tama? Nasa carbon 2 siya nakakabit. So, 2,2-dimethyl dimethyl 1 1 propa propanol. Naintindihan? Bakit dimethyl na lang? Kasi parehas naman silang 1 carbon lang, no? And then we'll add yung number nila, which is 2 to dimethyl prop. Let's see if we got this correctly. So number 1 for methyl, 2 pentanol. Okay? So anong mali natin? Instead of using comma, dash ang ginamit nila. So let's follow na lang yung dash 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 instead of comma. Okay? So, tama ba? Tama, no? Ma'am, bakit may trans yung ating cycle? Gaya ng sinabi ko, guys, pag nakakita kayo ng broken lines, ibig sabihin, nakalayo siya sa surface. Okay? Nakalayo siya sa surface or nasa likod siya. So, we must add trans. Ay, sorry. For this one, bakit siya trans? Bakit siya trans? Tama. Isang nasa harap at saka isang nasa malayo. So, di ba, ang usapan natin kapag trans, no, they are on opposite side. I'll give you an example for trans. This is a ito ay trans. Bakit? Kasi on opposite side sila. But if you're going to write it as this will be your cis. Naintindihan? This is your trans. Yung cis, ang palatandaan ko, di ba, is kapag magkapatid lagi magkasama. So, magkapantay sila kapag cis. Ang problem here is, on our daily life, yung trans natin, trans fats, no? Na magkaiba or opposite ang side, they are non-naturally occurring and they usually causes diseases, no? Like trans fat. They are unhealthy type of fats. They are hydrogenated and they usually are no laboratory made or man-made. That's why hindi siya naturally occurring, hindi siya maganda sa ating katawan. Okay? Next. So in the UPAC naming, a common compound containing two hydroxyl group, minsan kasi pwedeng dalawa yon. Say for example, no, sa propanol pa lang. We have OH here, and then we have OH here as well. Paano daw yan? Meron tayong dalawang OH group. If you're going to name two OH group, you just add diol. Okay? So for this one, we'll count. No, saan tayo simula ng OH kung saan makakapagbigay ng mas konting number. So for this one, no, makakapagbigay ng konting number will be in here. 1, 2, 3. Kasi kung di tayo magsisimula sa carbon na ito, magiging 3 yung ating last carbon. So for this one, ang ating naming for this one is ilang? 3 carbons, dalawang hydroxyl group. So that will be um, 1, 2, 3. Pro, propane, diol. So we add di, no? Hindi na natin inaalis yung E, like propanol, ganyan. Hindi na inaalis, no? Instead, we just add yung ating all. Ay, naintindihan ba yan? Okay, so IUPAC names for diols and triols retain yung letter E, and we commonly refer to the compounds containing two hydroxyl group on an adjacent as glycol. So itong glycols na ito is common name niya, no, kapag two hydroxyl group. So say for example, ito may dalawang hydroxyl group on both ends, no? So this one is ethane diol. No, this one is the IUPAC name, 1, 2, ethane diol. Pero ang common name niya is ethylene glycol, which is, I think, na-encounter nyo ito sa laboratory. Yung mga ethylene glycol, you also see this in your mga shampoos, yung mga sabon, yan, the ethylene glycol. And we also have your propane triol. No? This one is diol, just diol. This one is triol. So kapag tatlong hydroxyl group, ang tawag natin sa kanya is glycerol, no? Parang sa fats usually ito may encounter. Okay? Okay. So remember lang itong naming, no? Yung naming huwag kakalimutan. So alcohols, no, have about the same pKa value as water. Gaya nga ng sinabi ko, yung water parang for me, hindi dapat siya kino-considered na universal solvent. Kasi yung methanol natin na 1 carbon one carbon alcohol dissolves more, no, in an experiment, no? Mas marami siyang nadi-dissolve. Why? Kasi meron siyang non-polar group, this one is non-polar, and meron din siyang OH group which is polar. So on both side, kaya niyang i-dissolve yung both non-polar and polar. Well, water is only polar element and though naturally occurring yung water natin, no, ay usually ay hindi nakakatunaw ng mga non-polar substances. That's why in most of our experiments, kung may mga pangtunaw ng mga soluble and non-soluble compounds, organic and inorganic, we sometimes use CH3. The main problem of CH3 is it is toxic. Okay, so sometimes we ask for help sa mga chemists to do that for you. Halimbawa, may kakatasin kayo na halaman. Okay? So aqueous solution ng alcohols have the same pH that of water. And alcohol and phenols both contain OH group. No? Phenols, tanda nito, phenols, they are weak acids and react with NaOH and other strong base to form water-soluble salt. Now, I want you to remember that if we combine a strong acid with a strong base, the result will always be a salt. A salt containing both positive and negatively charged particle on its main compound. So we have negative and positive charge particle. Okay, so we have different methods, no, that we can employ on our alcohols. We can dehydrate it. So this is an elimination molecule of water from adjacent carbon that gives an atom an alkene form. So we have dehydration is the most often brought about by heating. Pwede rin na with chemical method by using it. Remember this, ha? 85% phosphoric acid or concentrated. Tandaan yung concentrated. I want you kapag exam, you have to complete this as concentrated. You may just write. Kaya lang we are using online, tama? We'll be using online. So if lalabas ito, nalagay niyo yung complete term niya na concentrated sulfuric acid. Now, we have primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohols. Did we discuss that? Okay. Okay. So when we say primary alcohol, they are the most difficult to dehydrate. You have to write this one. Primary, secondary, and tertiary alcohol. So this usually ay kung ilan yung OH group, no, na meron sila. Right? Tama ba yun? Okay. So alcohols or yung primary alcohols are the most, ilan, I think ang ating primary, secondary, and tertiary is kung ilang OH ang nakakabit sa main carbon mo. Okay, let's discuss that later. Later na lang. Okay, anyway, yung primary alcohols natin, they're most difficult to dehydrate and requires temperature as high as 180 degrees Celsius. So it requires 180 degrees Celsius. For secondary, it needs to undergo acid catalyzation. Kailangan ng acid catalyst, no, and a lower temperature. Okay, and kapag third or yung tertiary alcohol, they undergo acid catalyzation din. So, kailangan ng acid catalyst slightly, and ang temperature niya is slightly above room temp. Okay? So, on the process of dehydration, ang nangyayari sa ating ethanol, is nagkakaroon ng double bond. No? Ibig sabihin, tinatanggal natin yung OH group niya and we're replacing it with hydrogen group. So that's why nawawala yung OH niya at nagkakaroon ng double bonding. Okay? So nagiging alkene. Okay? So remember this, no? When you dehydrate, no, your butanol, the result is alkene, an alkene group niya. So yung butanol, let's remove all and add in or ENE, meaning meron siyang double bond na kumakabit sa kanya. Okay? Okay, so we also have your acid catalyzed hydration of alkenes, given that the alcohol and acid catalyst dehydration of alcohol to give alkenes and competing reactions. So, okay. So, ang hydration and dehydration from alcohol to alkene, no, is usually interchangeable. Ano ibig sabihin nun? Pwede siya magpabalik-balik. Kung na-convert mo na sa alkene, pwede mong ibalik na naman sa alcohol, primary alcohol. Kapag na-convert mo na sa alcohol, pwede mo namang ibalik sa pagiging alkene. Okay, so we have another. So this one, itong nauna natin is dehydration. I want you to create a table for this one para mabilis ninyong ma-review sa ating finals. We have oxidation. Now, sa oxidation no, of primary alcohol, no, it gives an aldehyde and carboxylic acid. No? And ang gamit natin dito na pang-oxidize no, is yung ating potassium dichromate. Okay? Tandaan, in aqueous sulfuric acid. So, ang mangyayari kapag inoxidize mo naman ang primary alcohol, no, ano mangyayari sa kanya? Magpo-form siya ng ano? Ng aldehyde, pwede rin carboxylic acid on further oxidation. Okay? Instead na alkene. Okay, now, in sometimes possible to stop the oxidation. Ito yan guys, no? From octanol, inoxidize natin using potassium dichromate and sulfuric acid na aqueous, ha? Hindi concentrated. No? Nagpo-form siya ng octanol. On further oxidation, guys, no? On further oxidation of your aldehyde, maaari siya mag-form ng octanoic acid, which this one is carboxylic acid. So, kapag pala primary, ang una niyang step is magiging, first step, magiging aldehyde. And then second step, kapag na-further oxidize pa ulit yung isang compound na yon, magiging ano siya? Carboxylic acid. How about your secondary alcohol? Your secondary alcohol gives a ketone group, no? Similar ang ating ginamit to oxidize your secondary alcohol, pero instead na aldehyde and carboxylic acid, no, kanyang i-yield ay isang ketone. Okay? Next, for tertiary alcohol, they are resistant to oxidation. Remember this. They are resistant to oxidation. Okay, so no oxidation will happen. Okay, let's move forward to our ether. So the functional group of ether is an oxygen atom. So yung ether, gaya ng sinabi ko, ito yun guys, so which is the formula ROR. So the simplest ether, of course, dahil ang formula niya is ganito, ay meron dalawang carbon. Tama? Imposible naman na OR lang, hindi na yung ether. Alcohol na yon. Okay, so we have a simplest ether which is dimethyl ether. No? And the most common ether is diethyl ether. Okay, so how do we name our ethers? No? So kung alcohol, we just find the parent chain and then replace the A and E with OL. Now, for our ether, the common names are derived by listing the alkyl groups bonded to oxygen in an alphabetical order. Okay, so to name your ether, the common names are derived by listing the alkyl group bonded to oxygen in an alphabetical order, adding the word ether. So alternatively, name one of the groups on oxygen as an alkoxyl or alkoxy group. So guys, for this one, i-list down nyo lang yung grupo na nakadikit kay oxygen. For this one, this is ethyl. For this one, this is ethyl. So no need to write it in alphabetical order. Instead, you just write di-ethyl and then add the name ether. Again, this is a common naming. And usually, common naming ang ginagamit natin for ether. So for your cyclic group, we have cyclohexyl on the other end and we have methyl. Sa cyclohexyl, guys, hindi natin sinasama sa alphabetical yung letter, yung C, yung cyclo. We just use yung letter H ng hexyl. Remember ha? So hexyl, letter H muna, and then we have your methyl. Cyclohexyl, methyl, then yung add natin yung name na ether. Again, this one is a common naming. And din yung kadalasan ginagamit natin for ether. Now, we also have your cyclic ether, an ether, which has one of the atom in a ring. So, usually, ito yung mga common ito lang yung dalawang common. Si ethylene oxide, no, yung oxygen niya ay nandoon nakalagay sa ring niya. So, you just have to memorize this one. We also have your tetrahydrofuran, no, which is yung oxygen niya ay nandoon sa loob ng mismong ring niya. Okay? Okay. Okay, so a physical properties ng ating ether is that they have weak forces of attraction between ether molecules in a pure liquid. So boiling points are close to those of hydrocarbons similar to molecular weight. Ethers have lower boiling points than, remember this, ethers have lower boiling point than your alcohol. Okay? Another is ether resembles the hydrocarbon in their resistance to chemical reaction. And they do not react with reducing agents such as yung H2 in the presence of transition metal. Okay? Last, we have your thiols. Gaya ng sinabi ko, ang functional group ng thiols is your SH or yung sulfidyl group. No? The most outstanding property of a low molecular weight thiol is their stench. Dahil may sulfur siya, guys, ang tandaan, ang amoy niya is rotten eggs or sewage. Tandaan niyo ha, lahat ng may sulfur ay mabaho, amoy bulok na itlog. So the scent of skunks is due to primarily SH, no, or yung mga thiols natin. So if you're going to encounter thiols kung meron man tayo sa laboratory, amoy ninyo, mabaho siya, amoy bulok. Okay? So for this one, para lang din siyang alcohol yung naming, but instead of adding all, we have thiol. Okay? Okay, so for this one, we'll count. No, ang ating parent chain is ito kasi siya yung pinakamahabang merong thiol. So that will be 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have butane and then isang methyl group, which is this one is your substituent. So we have 3 kasi 1, 2, and 3. Now we have 3 methyl and then nakadikit sa unang carbon, 1 butane thiol instead na all. Okay? Okay. So because of the strong difference of negativity between sulfur and hydrogen, yung SH bond natin are non-polar covalent. Unlike kay methanol na siya ay polar yung ating OH. For SH, no, itong SH na to ay non-polar. Ang CH3 natin is non-polar, therefore creating no a non-polar particle. So they cannot dissolve no yung ating mga polar compounds such as water. No, nagkakaroon yan, pag nilagay niyo yan sa slide, magkakaroon yan ng dalawang layer kasi they refuse to be mixed. Okay? We have also the acidity of your thiols. Now, for thiols, your weak acid, Pk10, and the thiols react with strong bases such as NaOH to form water-soluble salt. So, oxidation of thiols. No? The most common reaction ng thiols in biological system is the oxidation of their disulfides. No? Anong example nito, guys? Yung buhok natin, they contain disulfide bonds. Or, sorry, meron siyang S and S bonding. Yung mga S natin kasi kaya mag-bond yan isa-isa. And that is meron sa mga buhok ninyo, lalo na kung may pagkakulot kayo. And kapag ang kinukulayan yan, nagkakaroon tayo ng oxidation of your disulfide bond. So thiols are readily oxidized to disulfides by your oxygen. And disulfides in turn are easily reduced to thiols by several reducing agent. Tandaan yung reducing agent ni thiol, which is hydride. No? Okay, we have thiols on an oxidation can form disulfide. But when you reduce yung disulfide, it can form a thiol. Remember that. Okay? Okay, so what are the importance of our alcohol? Of course, alcohol gamit na gamit, hindi lang sa daily life natin, ano, hindi lang sa paglilinis ng kamay, paglilinis ng surfaces. There are a lot of alcohol sa paggawa ng wine, no? Marami tayong gamit sa alcohol. And I hope you remember na yung ating mga processes, no? Yung mga test na mangyayari sa alcohol natin kapag nare-reduce, na-oxidize, no? Let me just add on this part, no, that oxidation and reduction are irreversible reaction. So say for example, the carboxylic acid is reduced, it will become aldehyde. When aldehyde is reduced, it will become primary alcohol. But when primary alcohol is oxidized, it will become aldehyde. And when aldehyde is oxidized, it will become carboxylic acid. Okay, is that clear? Okay. Do we have any other question before we end this meeting? Anyone? Any question? Right, thumbs down if you don't have any other question. Okay. Okay, okay. So the quiz for this one, I'll repeat, no,